Welcome to Chandler in Focus. I'm Council Member Terry Rowe, and today we are discussing the issue of opioid epidemic, and that's happening here in Chandler and around the country. My guests today are Commander Ed Upshaw, and he's with the Chandler Police Department, and Ted Huntington. He is with ICANN, and he serves on a Chandler Coalition Against Youth Substance Abuse. Did I say that right?
You said it right.
Okay, fair enough. And so first we want to just quickly start off with introductions, and Ed, we'll start with you.
I'm Commander Edward Upshaw, Chandler Police Department. I am the South Substation Commander located at Veterans Oasis Park. I'm a 31-year vet of the Chandler Police Department.
Okay, very good. Ted?
Yeah, and I started off in law enforcement, 20 years, retired from Mesa Police Department, which you're familiar with. And then I kind of transcended into social prevention, intervention, and treatment work. So for the past 10 years, I've been focusing more prevention, intervention, and treatment here in Chandler.
Yeah, that's a great thing to be doing, and I imagine that you're part of CCYSA. In fact, you're kind of like the face of CCYSA in Chandler, right?
Yeah, I have the opportunity to manage the coalition and then manage our Chandler-Gilbert Substance Use and Treatment Task Force.
Yeah, so while we're talking about CCYSA, tell us about what it's trying to achieve.
Well, we want safe and healthy community. And in the process of that, we're wanting to provide a wraparound knowledge on prevention, intervention, treatment, and post-treatment to allow for individuals to be able to take advantage of and be empowered into, any phase that they might find themselves in to get some help and some resources and to get the connections that they need.
Yeah, so literally just really trying to be a solution.
Trying to be a solution.
Yeah. So Commander Upshaw, talk to us a little bit about what opioids are and just so that our viewers can
legal.
understand.
They're actually both legal and illegal types of opioids. They are a synthetic or man-made prescription drug that basically they're prescribed to block pain for people that have pain. So they're typically prescribed for people with injuries from athletes, car accidents, falls. Illegal opioids are things such as heroin and fentanyl.
Yeah. So there is probably a lot of people with opioids in their medicine cabinets here in Chandler.
There's no question. I mean, I'm guilty.
Yeah.
They were prescribed for, tooth pulls,
Yeah.
knee surgeries, things like that, and I've just never gotten rid of them.
Yeah. And the problem with that a little bit is the fact that people keep that type of medicine around, and sometimes there's a real opportunity for abuse by people that weren't even prescribed that medicine.
That's correct.
Yeah.
But I'll say this, for all the substations, we have prescription drug drop boxes at all the police substations in the cities of Mesa, Gilbert, and Chandler. And that is one way to get rid of those prescription drugs if you no longer need them.
Yeah, and the illegal drugs. If somebody wanted to come in and turn those in, they could drop those in a box.
Same way.
Yeah. And so how could somebody find out where the different substations are? Is that they could call dispatch or?
Well, if you don't know where your local police department is, you can obviously go to
Right.
a website or use your cell phone to find that. But like I said, they're in the lobbies of every police department in the East Valley. So I know Gilbert has them. I know Chandler has them, and Mesa has them.
Yeah, so it's a free, no questions asked resource that people can get these medicines out of their cabinets and have them destroyed, and it's a good thing. That's the right thing to do.
Yeah, since that program started, we've recovered over a ton of. That's one pill at a time.
Yeah, that's
So-
literally more than 2,000 pounds of
That's correct.
medicine. Yeah.
Yes.
So people are reacting and they're doing the right thing and turning
Yes.
into medicines.
It's a very successful program.
Yeah. So that's a big number. So it makes you know that it's a pretty big deal. But how big of an issue is this? Nationally, statewide, locally? Can you
The opioid epidemic, I think it has been stated by the President of the United States himself, but this country is facing the largest drug epidemic in its history. And unfortunately, Chandler's also part of this nation, and that epidemic has touched. And if it hasn't touched each and every individual out there, it will. But we have citizens that have died from opioid overdose.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, who is primarily affected by opioid overdoses and abuse?
Because they're typically prescribed by doctors for great reasons. I'm going to tell you, it's everyone. I mean, mothers, fathers, athletes, doctors, firemen, police officers, uncles, aunts. We all know someone that's impacted by this.
It's not just teenagers.
No.
It's not just people that, there's no stereotypical person that is using drugs or addicted to opioids.
Not this one.
It's pretty much all types of folks.
You are correct.
Well, that's a serious problem. And so in Chandler, how big of a problem is it here? I mean, it's a serious problem, but how much can you?
Well, I mean, I'll say in the city of Chandler, it at least rose to the level that the police department started issuing naloxone. This is an opioid blocker, or something that rapidly reverses the effects of an opioid overdose. Within 6 days of issuing this to our first responders or patrol officers, we had our first save. And that 6 days, it hasn't quite been out there a year, and I don't know the exact numbers, but I'll tell you, in the state of Arizona, we've had over 1,000 deaths since June 15th, and I believe almost 7,000 applications of naloxone dispensed to people that were overdosing.
And so naloxone, is that an injection or something that the police officers are carrying, or what? Explain that.
Okay, our police officers they carry a nasal injector.
Yeah.
It is also auto-injectable, and then they also have an injectable by needle, and that's typically done by the fire department.
Okay, but sometimes the police officers are that early first responder, and they have a chance to maybe save a life.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so Ted, let's
Yes.
talk a little bit about more about CCYSA. What is the community doing to bring awareness?
Well,
to
we've
this
actually
issue?
had a very good response from our community. When we set out to create strategies around reducing, the effects that the opioids were having, we needed to get partners in the medical, the pharmaceutical, police, fire, city council, school, rehabilitation, and treatment. And we've been able to really get an awesome response. We have 28 to 30 different community members from these different sectors who voluntarily participate, show up to monthly meetings, and really engage in strategies that are particular to their line of work. And we've been told that we have one of the most productive vehicles for reducing in the state of Arizona. So I would like to say that it is a huge team effort, that the vision for wanting to come alongside people and provide assistance is just it's been a very good call to action. Some of the areas we've been able to affect or been able to really educate our students through our partnerships. We've been able to do over 400 presentations in our junior highs and high schools in the last year and a half. And I think we've affected about 6,000 students in being able to give them prevention and education for the substance, the opioid, and the issues that are in and around that.
Yeah. You're gathering folks in the community together, providing information to our junior high and high school
Junior high and high
students
school
throughout Chandler.
throughout Chandler.
Yeah. Are the other cities doing that, or are they working in that direction?
Other cities are doing it, and they are statewide strategies that the Governor's Office of Youth, Faith, and Family have put out there. So I do know that it's going on. There's great work being done in and around the state. But I'm just really proud of Chandler, and the response that we've got, and the partnerships, and if Ed has time, he'll mention the IM project, which is once again just a grassroots community come together, everybody kind of pitching in and doing their part. So, CCYSA is very instrumental, but we'd like to feel that we're a facilitating vehicle that just empowers the community.
Yeah. So that's a very good segue for us to talk about out of CCYSA, out of this network of people talking and looking for solutions. Several different things have come up, ideas have been implemented, and one of them is and I'm sure everybody's pretty proud of it, is called this IAM project. Mm-hmm. And so maybe, Commander, you could just share a little bit to our viewers with that.
Absolutely. Okay. The Chandler IM project is a group of community stakeholders. We've got recovery and prevention specialists. We have community members. We have police and fire. We have faith-based community also involved. And what we did is we got a group of people that were very passionate about this particular issue. We've got an opioid epidemic that's going to hit this nation, that's impacting our city. What can we do about it? And so we went out and we tried to seek certain funds and tried to set this up in a way that similar to some programs across the United States, but Chandler was unique. And because Chandler was unique, we started our own 501c3 and created a program in which people can come to a local church. It's a Chandler Presbyterian Church every Tuesday from 1 to 5. You come into the Chandler IM project and you meet with professionals, and they will do an assessment or help for family members or actually for individuals that might be facing substance use disorders. We've got scholarships to 5 of the top quality recovery centers in the state and out of state, some out of state. And if you come in there and you're a Chandler citizen, we have scholarships. But if you are eligible for those scholarships, we can utilize those for that purpose. But we also will obviously give you referrals to get you help at a greatly reduced rate to what you would pay for an insurance company.
Yeah. So there's people out there, watching right now that may really, truly need help. So maybe this is a possibility, this IAM project. And that is our website that it's connected to?
Yes. Chandler, www.chandlerimproject.org.
Yeah.
And all that information's there and readily accessible.
Yeah. And the other ways, the Chandler Police Department, we talked about some of the ways the police is getting involved, and that was the drop boxes, and what else? The
Narcan.
Yeah.
That Narcan, so the issuance of an opioid blocker,
Right.
which keeps us from losing citizens due to opioid overdose.
Yeah. You're working with, you have some training for the patrol folks to kind of, it's a little game change as far as how this is such a serious matter that deals with all ages, that you kind of trained on this product and trained approach, how we deal with folks a little bit differently than we used to maybe.
Yeah, we've got to change the mindset because there's stigmas associated with addiction, and we all would probably assume homeless. It's kind of their fault, and I think society is shifting. That's shifting because we're starting to see our next door neighbors and people we know and professionals that have gotten addicted to opioids through no fault of their own, and they need help.
Yeah. So, Ted, how can someone learn more about this topic and get involved?
Well, they can go to our website, Terry, which is at www.chandler.org. And we kind of set that up as a one-size-fits-all resource where you can come in and get wraparound resources for, like I said earlier, either prevention, intervention, treatment, or post-treatment. We also have our task force that meets every second Friday from 10 to 11 at ICANN. So if individuals want to get involved, if they want to learn more, if they want to see what we're doing, we would love to have them. We would love to keep empowering our community to keep becoming the solution, and they can come down, join in, and take part in that.
Yeah. Well, it's a serious thing, and there's ignoring it is not going to make it go away.
No.
And it's going to take the work of people in the community. It's going to take long-term solutions. We're not going to get rid of this overnight, and And so I sure appreciate the work that the police department is doing, and CCYSA and your group to try and provide education, solutions, resources, all of those good things. And so anyway, finally, before we end today, I'd like to ask you both if you have a final thought that you'd like to share with our viewers.
Yeah, I would. I would just like to express that there's hope. There's tremendous hope that the community really is responding. They're taking action. We have some strategies in place that, if they implement them, if like one would be, like you mentioned earlier, if you do have opiates, if you do have prescriptions, making sure that they're safe, they're locked up, they're kept. If you don't use them, discard them. We do have information around, how to talk to your doctor if you're being prescribed an opiate. We have information on alternatives to taking pain medication. So the message would be, there's hope, there are answers, there are solutions, and we're gonna get past this. We're gonna beat this thing.
That's good. That's good. Commander?
I just want to thank you for the opportunity to talk about some of the programs we have. Again, I know most people have access to social media. The www.chandlerimproject.org contains a great deal of information. If you want to know what's happening in Arizona, in particular in your part of the state you may live, you can find that on the Arizona Department of Health Services, ADHS.
.gov.
And then, so obviously the Chandler Police Department,
one or the other.
ChandlerPD.com has also some links, and the CCYSA, ChandlerCCYSA.org.
Yeah. Well, thank you both for being here, and thank you for your work to work toward preventing substance abuse. Folks, if you're watching and you have if you personally or a family or a friend is having real problems, hiding it, ignoring it, that isn't a solution. And there are solutions. Reach out to some of these groups and get help, or help a friend. And so thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time on the next Chandler in Focus. I'm Terry Rowe. Thank you.